Hey everybody, welcome back to Serene Pod.
Welcome back.
We are here, myself, Mark, as you know,
Yep.
and
Selling, as you know.
as they know, I feel like they've
Yeah.
been here enough, they've watched us enough, and to those that haven't, hello, welcome.
Yeah.
But those that have watched us, I feel like they've got to know us, they're learning about us, and I feel like if you know us, you must know those that we've worked with. That's really important.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
today we have a very, very special guest. I'm going to let them tell a bit more about themselves, but I did work with them. Selin, you've got some real history with them we'll go into.
I do.
I did work with them for a period of time and uber talented. They taught me about a lot of stuff, which is crazy because usually I'm the one teaching, but they were teaching me. And yeah, just an awesome person all round. So let's introduce Taylor.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome.
Yeah, so Taylor, we're gonna ask you some questions, of course. We're gonna have a great conversation. But before we do that, probably should update.
Yeah. Let's have a quick update, catch up. So I was excited to share this, right? And it's not actually like work related.
Okay.
But I recently done a yoga class with breathwork.
Oh, nice.
And I was taught how to breathe properly.
Okay.
Right? And I was really excited to share this. So apparently you are meant to put your tongue behind your teeth. Yeah. And then you're meant to breathe like that because your mouth isn't for breathing. It's for eating and for talking. So if your tongue is there, you won't breathe out of your mouth. You will breathe out of your nose.
That's very interesting, actually.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Now I'm going to start trying that because it's going to be in my mind for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies to Theo because you're going to hear a lot of me breathing through my nose on the mic. 'Cause I'm going to keep trying that because, yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So now that I've shared it, you'll be more consciously aware of doing that. And
is that why a lot of people do like the mouth tape thing now?
yes, that is the reason.
I thought they just didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a weird trend.
Yeah, people just didn't want to be heard.
Yeah. So apparently this will help you have better sleep as well.
Nice. I need that. Okay.
Yeah. So try it and then you can feed back to me.
All right, cool. We'll do. Updates from me. Interesting week. Just very, very busy doing a lot of not interesting things, but it's like the end of the year. So anything that's like young people related or school related is kind of winding up and rounding up. But yesterday was a very interesting day. I went to my old secondary school.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
for Careers Day.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. It was a lot of fun seeing like old teachers.
Yeah.
Some of them that just look like they haven't aged at all.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we set out like a bunch of tables, and there was a couple of people from my year group and a couple of people from other year groups, and the year nines came in and talked, and weirdly enough, there was just a crowd around my table, and people wondering why, and it's because we weren't talking about careers.
Yeah.
We were talking about getting in trouble and music and fun stuff. But it was so nice to just relate to them, to talk to them, to advise them in the end, like about what I do, and just how to get into like music and content and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a very surreal, because going back was very surreal, but it was very reflective, and it was good to kind of feel like, wow, like me in their year would actually be very proud of me now, So I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's interesting because the last episode we were talking about having moments of reflection.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, you've just had a moment of reflection going back there.
That's true. I think I think that's why it is important sometimes to go. Like, I'm not a big fan of looking back and being like, I'm like, move forward, everybody move forward kind of thing. But I think that's why sometimes it's good to have those moments where you do look back and you kind of, you're like, yeah, actually, it's going well and we've done well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor, we would ask you for an update, but instead, we're going to ask you for a bit more of an update. We're going to ask you for an intro. We would love to know more about you, what you do, what you're doing, and how you got to know us two here sitting next to you.
Yeah. I mean, as people already know, I'm Tay or Taylor. I'm a session musician. That's my main thing, but I also compose and produce. I lead a 6-piece band called Vitality. That's kind of like contemporary jazz instrumental stuff. I've been playing bass. That's my main instrument since I was just before I turned 15.
Wow.
My parents surprised me with my first bass on my 15th birthday because they realized I was actually taking it seriously, and I was like, I want to do it like outside of school once I finish GCSEs and all that. Before that I started on violin at age 8 and then moved on to piano at 13. And I come from quite a musical family. My dad was a sound engineer, and he taught me like music production. There'll be times where I'd ask him like, "Oh, can you mix this for me?" He'd be like, "No, you mix it, and then come back to me, and I'll give you feedback." Yeah, it'll be really cool. And just learning that with all the equipment in the house, I felt really grateful to be able to learn with that, and my mum playing such great music in the house all the time. My dad wanted me to learn reggae. My mum would show me R&B, and suddenly I got into jazz in high school. So it's nice to be quite versatile. When I was in year 11, I was strangely into a little bit of like new metal as well.
Okay.
So I'll be like coming home in my prefect uniform, looking all innocent, but in my headphones would be Rage Against the Machine. So I currently teach at the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance. So that's where I went for university. I'm currently also getting my master's, but at Goldsmiths this is a really weird course, audiovisual cultures.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, the way I see it is I originally signed up for ethnomusicology, but they were kind of getting rid of that course. Okay. And they were kind of putting ethnomusicology students and anthropology students all together. But we're also like evaluating media and kind of like sounds within that. It's really interesting. I got to create my first virtual reality exhibition all by myself.
Wow.
That was a lot of work because I was also playing for like bass for a pantomime. So on my breaks, I would come in early, work on my assessment, and then in the breaks work on it as well. And the band would be like, "What is this?" I was like, "This is a virtual reality exhibition showing how media portrays, Black people in the industry and the massive impact it has on many communities." It was like some heavy stuff, and then I got to compose music for that as well. So it was really cool, and I actually managed to make it work with my VR headset that I have at home.
Wow.
I was this close to being like burnt out, but I like to fit a lot of eggs into one basket. I don't like to stick to one thing that I've learned over the years. But overall, I'm just like a very musical person and very nerdy, I guess.
Amazing.
I love that.
I'm so proud of you.
I know.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like we're like proud parents of you, innit?
Wow.
So I have known Taylor, I don't actually know how many years now, because I started working in the secondary school when Taylor was in year 9, and then I got to know her when she was in year 10. So how long has that been since you've been in year 10? I don't actually know.
I feel like it might be probably 8 years, maybe.
Wow.
It's been 8 years.
8 or 9 years, maybe, because I was like 14, 15 when we met.
Yeah. So it's been 8 years, which is crazy to me right now. I met her in the school that I was working in, and I was mentoring there, and I was also a form tutor, and luckily enough I was supporting students that were in music classes as well as drama classes because of my background. So I was lucky to cross paths with Taylor and come across her extremely massive talent that she had, and she just was like a shining star in the music class, which was amazing to me at that age, because she just started learning bass, and I was like, she's sitting on something here. Like, I know this is gonna blossom into something, and I could see it. So school is a weird place for a lot of people where they're like, and I've spoken about this on the pod before, where like you're figuring out life and who you want to be and identity and like everything that comes with that, and the not going with the cultural norms of the school and what young people are facing. So my question was, at that time when I met you, what was your experience in life at that time? So was you facing any challenges at that time? How was your school experience at that time?
That's a very good question. School was, I wouldn't say it was like it was not my favorite place. And I feel like that's for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can like for sure say I was not popular. I wasn't ever really considered like a cool kid or anything like that. And I also struggled with making friends. I didn't know how to make friends. And that was something I struggled with since like the day I started secondary school. I would just kind of, I wouldn't know what to say or how to actually talk to people. Whenever I would actually do music, that was the only place where I felt actually safe. Because there was things going on in the school that made me so like feel like I didn't really want to come in. I didn't feel like I could be myself. The people that I was hanging around with, there's like a friend I still keep in touch with, and she's amazing. We still talk almost every day. But there was like 2 friends that I would hang out with, and they were not good influences at all. One was quite racist, so that wasn't nice to be around. And so I would come home. I was actually, by the time I finished high school, I was actually told I had depression because of how bad it got. And, you know, I felt like at the time, before I met you, I didn't feel like I could actually trust any teachers. And that was a very big step for me. It was only you and 2 other teachers that I could actually trust. Everyone else, whenever I told them something was wrong, I kind of felt shrugged to the side. I still remember I was like 12 and a boy who was like 15 put his hand through my blazer. I told a teacher and she said, boys will be boys. And that like made me feel so uncomfortable. I told my mum and she wasn't happy. And that wasn't even the first thing. I remember getting picked on in class and I was told, this is high school, grow up. And I was just like, is this really what like I'm supposed to be going through? So when I had music, it just felt like a big escape for me. I would spend my lunch times, if I had access, because we couldn't always access the music room. So I would like go to the music room whenever I could. Because I remember there was like a teacher who would like act like a security guard. And I was just like, it's a music room, just let me use it. But if it wasn't, then I would actually just sit in the dining hall and I wouldn't eat. I would just sit in the dining hall for an hour until the bell rang. And that was just looking back, really lonely, really sad. But I also remember, because I was doing music, a lot of people kind of made fun of me for it. So I remember being in like a maths class and some guy came up to me and he just told me my music's terrible, just randomly. And he didn't use those words. It was a bit more explicit, but it stayed in my head for so long when I finished high school. I was like, maybe they're right. And I don't know if you remember presentation evenings. It was kind of like a graduation ceremony where we got our yearbooks. And when they called my name up, they put the wrong picture. They put a different picture of another black girl with glasses. And when I went up, we realised it was so embarrassing because my mum was in the audience. And I remember a girl who was in my form class said, that's such a violation. Who would want to be Taylor? And I wasn't mad at her. If anything, the sad thing was I agreed with her at the time. I was like, she's right, because who would want to be me? Because I don't want to be me. That's how much I disliked myself because of the people that was in the classes that I had, things like that. But when I got out of high school, I was like, instantly I knew I wanted to do music. This is something that makes me so happy, and I'm so glad I like stuck with it. There's been good times as well. There was like, other than like, I remember when you were the one that told me about ICMP. So like instantly I told my dad and we went to see ICMP and I fell in love with the place. And there was another teacher who would take me to, after we had like the booster classes, he would take me to the music room and he would play drums and I would play bass and we would just jam for like an hour. And that would be like my favorite day of the week. I was like, okay, we're going to jam and try this. And then the first original piece of music I made, I played with him. So it was cool. That made me want to create my own songs. And it was nice to actually feel like I matter and feel like, you know, there's actually a safe space. And so it's really interesting seeing how I was back then. If I could tell like 16-year-old me, I'll tell myself it does get better. Like, honestly, don't worry, high schools are not forever. Like, looking back on it, it's like, it's so long ago. Yeah, there's definitely been like so much progress.
Yeah, definitely. And it was the secondary schools in Tottenham, and it was a very chaotic school, and it was very difficult to work there as well. And you know, when we spoke about adolescence, and we were talking about the chaotic school environment that was portrayed in that, that's exactly how the school was. And I could see from the outside when I started and I met Taylor that she was in isolation compared to the chaos that was going on there. And I knew somebody who had gone to that college, and I could totally relate to what Taylor was going through, because I felt like that in school. Growing up, I wanted to do performing arts, and I was seeing like, oh, she's just a bit weird, like she's not good, I'm not in the top set, I'm just different from everyone else. And I only found like I belonged once I went to college and only did performing arts, and I found like my people, my crew. So the sense of belonging is really difficult in a school to find your crowd. And I knew that going to music college, I was hoping that would be it for Taylor as well, where you can find your people. So I knew, like, because I knew somebody that had gone there, I'm like, please go there. So I'm so happy that you went, and that is what happened for you as well. And the person that when you was doing like the jam sessions with, I worked with him, and he started, I think it was a year after I started.
Yeah.
And he was a TA, and his background was music. When he started, obviously we had like all these chats about music and stuff, and I was like, you need to make Taylor ASAP. Like, you need to meet her ASAP. Like, you're gonna get on. And that was great.
It was cool when we met, because we had like we met when he overheard me talking about like jazz, a jazz bassist, and then at the end of the day of school, we just started talking more about music. And we still keep in touch today. We're still really good friends. It's like, there was like this event called Steam Down, SD Weekly, and he told me about it when I was around 16, but I was too young to go. So he was like, when you're like 18 or 19, we're gonna like, I'll take you there so like you can see how cool it is. So, and now I'm part of like the house band for that. So when he goes, he's like, oh, it's a full circle moment. So whenever he goes, I'm letting him know, I'm like, I'm playing in this one this Wednesday, because every week they have a different band for a month. And I think it's like 4 or 5 certain bands, and now I'm in like, I guess, the official house band for a certain week every month. And it's been cool getting each time booked each month, and whenever we see that, we just catch up and just talk about stuff. A lot of even now, like, they recommended me a bunch of music when I was in year 11, and one of the artists on there, I now just got hired to play for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh my goodness, like,
great.
I think I can't speak too much on it just yet, but
of course.
I'm so excited, because when we play in London, I'm going to be like, you have to come to this gig, because you told me about this artist. It's going to be probably my biggest show yet. And I'm still kind of processing it. When I got asked to do it, I instantly voice messaged my mum. I was like, Mum, so I might be touring for a while. I might be like going to doing all these shows, but let's just see. But it's been like a massive blessing. So it's cool being around, you know, people like that. Yeah. And I don't know, I was just really grateful, because that really helped me through. Like, you guys definitely saved me. Like, I was so depressed. I remember telling my mum and my dad that day, I wrote a note, and I was like, so like, on that note, I was like, I'm going to do this until I need help. So I'm glad I did. And we called my mum, and it was a very emotional evening, but I think it made me a lot stronger. It made me talk about it even more. And it made me kind of stand up a little bit to people who kind of made me feel that way. Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of friends that were girls, especially, and they were very mean to me. And it kind of made me kind of stand up a little bit more to them. but also made me realize I shouldn't have to live up to their expectations. Kind of
Definitely,
thing. Yeah.
definitely. I saw you grow in that space of time. So I'm definitely very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
And you found your voice, and you've found like you've become yourself in a way. And I'm really proud of you. And it's an honor to even witness someone's journey like that as well.
Well, you played a big part in that, so thank you so much for that.
Welcome.
Y'all are gonna Yeah, no, it's so interesting because I think it's interesting hearing you speak about your time in secondary school and stuff like that. It's tough for me because I'm like, I'm very much like a big brother figure. So I'm like, what? They did what to you? To you when? But I'm like, of course, I didn't know you or anything like that. But I'm like, you should have called me. I would have. But of course, we had no clue any of us existed. But so that's tough. And it breaks my heart that was your experience. Like I said, like I literally went back to my old school yesterday, and I was with a few people, and one of them, he was like one of my best friends. He was fine. His behavior wasn't too crazy. He was a bit badly behaved, but he's obviously grown up and doing well for himself and is a much more well-rounded person. And one of the things that he was saying is he was kind of embarrassed to be in certain rooms or see certain people because of his behavior when he was in school. Because sometimes, a lot of people, they don't realize the impact of the things they're saying and doing at that time.
Yeah.
And it was weird to see him genuinely like a bit uncomfortable with like some teachers and stuff, because he's just like, I wish I wasn't the way I was to you. Like I shouldn't have been, you know? And so hopefully like some of those people that have treated you a certain way have had a bit of that reflection for themselves in their own life, whether it is that they've told you or just in general, because, I think secondary school is such an interesting place for people. And a lot of the times when you're in it, you think it's the be all and end all, and then you realize actually it was barely any of my life. Really, it was a couple years of a long life. But I'm really, proud to see how far you've come and see kind of where you're going, and be able to witness it. Because obviously, from the time that I met you, it was ahead of, further ahead of secondary school. Where were you at when we met?
I was in my, I want to say, second year of uni. Got you. So that was interesting, obviously, because it was like, after COVID, all this stuff. And I remember, I can't remember her name, but there was someone that we were working with, and we drove down, and I was very much like, I've never met this person before. The young person we're going to meet, supposedly they like music, and hopefully, and then I found out you play with a good friend of mine, Shenny, who plays drums, and I was like, oh, Shenny, and then it was actually really, really impressive to meet you, because I think out of a lot of the young people that I worked with, you were one of the ones that really loved music and really loved instruments, and so it was great to talk to you about that kind of stuff. What was that experience like for you? Having, because obviously you've got these random people kind of turn up to your house and stuff. How were you feeling in that time? I was quite excited, I guess, because any chance I get to kind of improve within music, I want to try and take it and use it in a really good way. My mom was very intrigued as well. I think she was just happy to see me get back within music, because, like, as you said, COVID was such a difficult time. And, like, the one person that really pushed me with music, which was my dad, was no longer there because of COVID. So it was around the time I was starting to relearn how to use his equipment, how to be, like, working in his music space and things like that. So, I was kind of excited, but also, like, I hope I will feel the way I used to feel in the past. Yeah.
So I reached out to Taylor. So after school, we kind of stayed in touch, and then during COVID happened, and then once things started reopening, I kind of reached out to see where she was at, because I felt like she could benefit from the space that we had. Yeah. And also meeting you as well. But I also knew that she had so much knowledge. I kind of just felt like it's going to be great on either side. So I reached out, and I was just like, hey, like, what's going on? this is what I think would be great for you. What's your thoughts? And again, you wasn't in a great place at that time, but you was open to coming and meeting Mark and having kind of a session. And I'm so happy again that you did that and you took that step.
Yeah,
forward.
no, I'm really grateful that you guys gave me the opportunity. I've still the skills you taught me with production, I still use today. So
That's cool.
I don't even know what I taught you, if I'm honest.
No, you taught me a lot. And
We
then,
were just here, just doing stuff.
Yeah.
in that summer, I was actually having, because I so to give context, I had a friend that I was friends with since I was probably 12 or 13 online. At the time, we were both very into online game developing, and we were creating our own online games. And we stayed in touch, but he lived in Cambridge, so I never met him. Looking back on it, probably shouldn't have done that. But when he was around 19, I was around 20, he told me that he's moving to London. And I was like, we should meet, because at the time we were both into music then. And then we had a session, and then he was like, you should have a session every day, like for the summer. So in that summer when we met, I was having like booking sessions every day with people at my house just to improve in production. So they were kind of like I was excited to work with people, but I was also learning from them. And also the tools you were giving me, I was like, I want to apply this. And it was funny because my mum was like, who are these people you're bringing to my house every single day? But it was cool because you like get to hear what we made, and it's always different versatile stuff. Sometimes it'll be like drum and bass, R&B, some really cool abstract stuff. So that was really fun, and it kind of helped me create a few more contacts and helped my confidence a lot more as well.
I'm glad. I feel like it was such an interesting time because you again, compared to some of the young people that I was working with that were younger or not as music savvy, should I say, you were in the know. Like you really loved music. You were interested. So for me, it was almost just the fun of making stuff and talking about stuff and learning about stuff and, creating stuff. What was the experience like for you in this room? Because I think it's always interesting when we speak to young people about this room, being in this room and creating. And was there any moments in here that you felt like, what I'm doing here is good. The music it feels good what I'm making. I could do this more. Or were there any just memorable moments in this room for you?
Oh, I was fully just nerding out, honestly. The plugin suggestions you were giving me, I was going home, downloading them, just trying them out. Like a sub-bass one that you gave me to try out. It was like, I think it was actually called like sub-bass. Sublab, yeah. And I was really into that. I was using that for ages. And I even signed up for like a masterclass production thing online. Nice. There was like a series. It was made by Charlie Puth. But the thing is, everyone I feel like everybody's so harsh on him, because his songs are a bit cheesy, but his production is insane. So
Unreal.
It's so good, and plus he's got perfect pitch. So I was like, I need to learn. So it was like lifetime access when you pay for it. So I was like, okay, I'll learn all of this. He's doing all of this on Pro Tools, but I can learn it on Logic. So and then kind of use what I've learned, bring it here and stuff. And I felt like I was learning so much when I was here, because I didn't know much about production. Once my dad passed, I was like, I need to teach myself a bit more. But it just made me fall back in love with creating. And then I started composing my own stuff to show to my band, put together my own band. And that was fun. That was cool. I remember when you did a Afrobeats remix of one of my very first track.
Yeah, so I remember that because I remember the icon. I don't know why. I'm probably because I'm a visual person. And the way it looked, and it was called French Toast. And I absolutely loved it. Loved it. And one thing I love about Taylor is she's like a sponge. So anything we can teach her or share wisdom with her, she'll take it in, and she's fully present, and it's sponge. And I absolutely love that, because that's where growth happens. And I really, really love that. And I think we will share obviously your socials after this as well. But I would love to know, because of the period that you met Mark and at that point after COVID, was there anything in particular that we did or in general that helped you with your grieving process at that time?
I think just being like surrounded by music helped. My class at uni were actually so lovely. Literally the day after it wasn't even 24 hours after my dad passed away. My class sent me a bunch of flowers. Oh, and I was just like, yeah, that was great. Because some of my friends knew that he was in hospital. It was all crazy. I'm okay to talk about it. It was like 2 days before Christmas. We all got COVID, and it just left my dad with like a bad cough. He was like considered a gentle giant because he was just large and he was so lovely, so tall. And then 2 days before Christmas, he passed out in the bathroom. And then we called the ambulance, but it took around like 4 hours for the ambulance to arrive because of how many calls people had with COVID. And then when my dad was in hospital, bless his heart, he was still sending us gifts on Christmas, like sending us money. And we're like, you should rest. And he was like sending jokes in the family group chat. And we're like, you should rest. And then because he wasn't responding well to the oxygen given to him, the doctor said we have to put him into a coma. And then we thought he was getting better, but then we were told to prepare ourselves. So I was like in class, but online at the time. And then my brother knocked my bedroom door. He was like, we have to go say goodbye to dad. So we went to say goodbye to my dad, and it was insane. Like, we had to wear all this like a mask, but also this whole suit. And gloves, so it just felt so weird. But I remember telling a nurse like my dad was my best friend, and I remember like the day after, my auntie said a prayer for my dad, and she told me that he was in a coma, but after she said the prayer, a tear dropped from his eye, and then probably about an hour or two later he passed away. So I feel like he was at peace from hearing that. I think it's really beautiful. And I wouldn't want him to be, I feel like if he was still here today, he wouldn't be the same. He would be suffering. Because I remember like a TV presenter, her husband went through the same thing. He survived, but only for a certain period of time. And he wasn't the same. He was practically like brain dead. And so it was definitely difficult, but being surrounded with music really helped me through that. Instantly, I was like, I want to learn my dad's music equipment. I want to carry on his legacy. And it was so cool creating music, that a song dedicated to my dad, because I got to play it at a Fresher showcase that ICMP did, and that was in front of like probably 500 people. Wow. And saying my dad's name out loud, Andrew, Mark, Anthony, Harvey, and everyone cheering, that was so cool. And that was the first time I played my dad's original music. When we rehearsed that for the first time with my band, I remember breaking down crying hearing it. I was like, oh my goodness. But it was also great because I got to play it at one of my favourite venues, like a dream venue, Ronnie Scott.
Oh, wow, really?
Wow.
Yeah, we got to do a show there, and I never thought I'd be able to do that, play my original music at Ronnie Scott's. It was like upstairs, and my mum was there, and two of my music teachers from high school came down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they were just like...
I know which one.
Yeah, and they're like, remember you in year 7?
That's
I was like...
amazing.
I was just full of smiles the whole time, and it was amazing because also at the end of the song that was made for my dad, there was a recording of me and my dad talking about music, and I added it onto it, and my friend played a little piano bit, and I kind of composed that, and it was great getting to do that. So I think being here, being surrounded by music in general, helped me with that grieving. And it helped me stay in. There was who's technically my boss now, but he was like my program leader at uni. Because I was ready to leave ICMP. I was ready to kind of give up, and he put me on a 2-hour call because he remembered when I came to ICMP for an open day, and I was too young to go ICMP at the time. I was like 15, and he was like, I remember you, like, don't leave, like, we're gonna help you through this. We just spoke for 2 hours, and then he put me in the house band for open days, gave me opportunities and all that, and just to kind of help me stay on track. And I remember like graduating with a first and getting the award for outstanding student, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, graduation was kind of funny though. Thank you. Graduation was funny because I'm so awkward. When I was called to get my diploma, I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I just put like a thumbs up to the crowd, but I almost like decked my program leader in the face. So on the video recording, you see him like standing back, and I was like, I almost just punched him. I was like, oh my goodness. And my brother was like, what is she doing? I was like, oh no. But that was great. Yeah.
So the outstanding student, because that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Were you awarded with that at graduation as well?
Yeah, so that there's a really cool story to this actually. So when we went,
tell us,
please.
So they kind of changed the name of it. Before it used to be like an award with like a plaque, like, almost like you got a little record deal thing.
Oh, nice,
kind of award.
Yeah.
But they changed it. I don't know why, but I remember going to ICMP to the open day with my dad at 15, and I said to my dad, I'm gonna get that award. And so I was working so hard. I was like, that's the thing I want when I leave ICMP. And then when it came to it, because it only goes to one student from each course. And then because in my head, I was in line to go up and I was like, why am I the last one to get my diploma? And then they're like, and the award for most outstanding student on the Beamer's performance. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And so it felt like a full circle moment again, because I was like, this is for my dad. Because I remember telling him straight, I was like, I'm going to get that award. So it was like a certificate. It was like a subscription for a year on Pro Tools.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. I was so grateful. I was so happy. My mom was in the audience. My brother was in the audience. I just felt so proud. And yeah, I was just full of smiles that whole evening. It was great.
I love that. I love that. My heart is like so full right now.
Do you know what's so powerful about that story? What is so powerful about that story is that in high school, I don't know if it was the graduation or end of year, whatever you were talking about in terms of the picture, the wrong picture, the presentation evening, and someone saying that about you. And it's almost like, but now anybody would want to be Taylor, and as an outstanding student. And it's that transition that actually, that same person that people were saying they didn't want to be, that you didn't want to be, has now become someone that people would probably be looking up to and wanting to be. But that's really powerful, and you should be super proud of yourself.
I definitely feel really proud. Like this year, I have like a little journal, and I wrote in, the first thing I wrote in was lock in 2025. And that's not just with music, that's also with my faith, because I am Christian.
Come on.
And are you a Christian? Yes.
Yeah, come on, dog.
I've been very, I feel like I've been diving more into my faith so much lately, and everything that happens for me, whether it's good or bad, I always talk to God. I always thank God. And sometimes I need to do it a little bit more. When I reflect back, I was like, sometimes it's like I realize I go to God when things aren't good. And it's like I should go to God all the time. But when I reflect back, I was like, oh my goodness, I've done all these things, and I feel like it's my dad guiding me as well. I remember having a dream that my dad came to visit, and what my dad does, what he used to do was, whenever he would go out, he would wear his shirt, and then he would wear a jacket, and then another jacket on top of that. I don't know why, maybe because it was really cold. And in the dream, he was doing that. And then he said, he was just chilling for a bit, and then he said, I have to go now. And he left through the front door. And I remember waking up crying, but I wasn't too sad. I was like, it was nice to get like that kind of visit. But I remember just putting in lock in 2025 with my faith and with my music. And all these things that's happened this year, I remember telling my mum, from when I did the pantomime, I've never done pantomime before. I just learned a bit of theatre from university in my final year. So I was nervous because I wasn't great at reading. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to do this. I made like a mock setup of how it would look in the pit for me. And I would try that every day at home and just see how it would be. I would practice every single day, reading all the music. And from like December 2024, I had something booked in up to June 2025. Wow. And that's never happened to me before. And I remember the biggest thing that's happened to me this year, it was on Valentine's Day. I remember getting the call. They're like, oh, the bassist that we need can't make it. Can you like go to New York and play for us? Oh. And I was just like, wow. Yeah. Whoa. I was like, wow, that's insane. So how that happened was, it's like an artist I play for now. She did like a video in Royal Albert Hall, and I was part of the cast for that. The bassist couldn't make it, so she's like, can you learn the bass part, but you're miming? So I was like, this is interesting. I've never mimed before. But it was at Royal Albert Hall, so I was like, of course I'm going to do it. It's Royal Albert Hall. So it was cool, got to be dressed up, being with a whole camera crew, everything, a gigantic cast, and it was cool. And then I think I just wanted to make such a good impression, because you never know who's watching. And then after that, she asked if I could play, like, do a depth gig in New York. And then after that, at the airport, she asked if we could do another show for like South by Southwest. And it was great. It was like New York was a dream. Like, I can't say too much on who we opened for or anything like that until after like a few years. But it was amazing because I got to also see family that I've never met before in New York.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, I didn't want to leave. Imagine your hotel is right next to the Apollo. Imagine you're being flown out premium and it's like, it's so nice. And then you get a taxi just taking you to your hotel right next to the Apollo. I'm just like, on the 17th floor, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually being paid to do what I love. That is insane. I didn't think I would be able to do that until like probably 10 years, let alone America. So that was amazing. And seeing family, that was so cool because I got to meet my cousins. We got along right away. I remember one cousin was like, apparently we're family. I was like, cool. And he was like, you know what, you're all right. I was like, yeah, you're all right too. We started cussing each other right away. I was like, you know what, that's how we're family. And it was so cool. I didn't want to leave. I got quite emotional the last day. Me and the keys player and the drummer were all talking, and we were just like, because we spent a whole day, we had like a day to just explore New York. And we were all just like, we don't want to leave. This has been so amazing. We also went to the Nintendo store. I was like, I need to go here because I'm a big gamer. I love gaming and stuff. And so it was a big blessing. I remember just being so thankful and video calling my mum. And I was just like, this is mad. This is so insane. I was like, it's a dream come true. And things that's happened in my life, getting to play in a pantomime in a magnificent theatre, Hackney Empire, was like huge.
Amazing.
Massive theatre.
Yeah, and I was like the youngest in the pits. I was just like, just a baby. It was cool because some of the cast members were around my age, but then there was also like one of the actors. I was like, I used to watch you on Waterloo Road. She was like, oh, you're a baby. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not that young. But it was so interesting seeing someone who I used to, even the director was in Tracy Beaker. I was just like, what? Okay. Yeah, so it was really cool getting to do some great stuff. Like Steam Down has been so much fun. Like I'm always experimenting with new things, and I'm always recording it on voice memos now because it's all improvised stuff. So whenever I listen back, I was like, I'm gonna turn that into a track. I'm gonna make something of this. So it's been cool getting to do so much this year. It's been super busy. I've barely been teaching actually, and I haven't really been too sad about it. Like I've missed it, but also getting to do something every single day, and it's been mad. Like even for my students, I'm so proud of how far they've come. I remember the last few weeks coming up to their exams, I brought in a friend of mine who's a drummer and a friend of mine who's a sax player to work with them, because like we're going to work on how to lock in with certain instruments and how to do soloing and things like that, and they did so well. And I remember one was like, oh, are you coming back next year? I was like, I hope so. And they're like, please come back next year to teach. And that's so great. I was like, that's so nice to hear. I was like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, a lot's happened this year, and I'm just so grateful just thinking back to it.
Honestly, it's like you're a completely different person to who I met in school. It is literally like light and day, and it's like you've completely transformed, and like it's like a whole 360. So like I'm sitting here like mind blown to thinking about the person that you was in school compared to who's sitting here. It's like completely different, but in a great way. And I'm like just enjoying hearing everything that you're doing. I'm so proud of you, and I just think you're an amazing person, and everything that you're doing, and the fact you're even talking about your own students is like crazy to me. Crazy to me, but it's great that I'm happy that you found your thing and you took it with both hands. I'm so happy that you've done that. And I had a really interesting question. If you wasn't playing bass, what other instrument would you pick to play?
Oh, that's such a cool question, because there's also an instrument I would play, but also something I would do other than music. So with the instrument I would play, it would most likely either be piano or saxophone, just because I love both the instruments. They're both really, really cool. But if I wasn't doing music, I think it would definitely be creating video games. Because that was something I was choosing between. I remember doing an assembly in like year 7 saying what we want to be, and I was just like, online games developer. And now I look back, I was like, that's so interesting, because I learned at such a young age, and it became a big passion of mine. But yeah, I think I would either be doing just creating video games and stuff like that. It was just I just found it so cool and nerdy. Me and my dad were into such sci-fi stuff. I went to my first Comic-Con this year, and that was fun.
Nice. How was that?
Oh, it was so cool. It was so great.
Did you go as anyone?
You know what? I didn't, and I regret it because I had a costume of Zenitsu from Demon Slayer at my house, but I wasn't at home the day before, so I was like, I didn't have my costume. But next time I do want to. But it was great because I got to see a friend there. I went with my partner, and they make me feel like I can just be myself. And they said that they are so happy that they can be themselves as well, because they said in the past they would love Lego and going to the comic book store and stuff like that, and Star Wars, and they would always kind of get told like, oh, how old are you and stuff like that, where I was like, if you like that stuff, like it. I love that stuff. We would have evenings when we're watching Lego Master and just like, this is so cool. It's so cool. Like, you're winning all this money from building Lego. Like, I think that's insane. But yeah, Comic-Con was cool. That was really sick. I would definitely want to go there again, but in a costume.
We should go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go, Serene.
Like a whole trip there.
I'm going as Iron Man.
Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Iron Man getting the whole suit. It'll be a bit bigger.
Yeah.
I'll be more like a XXL Iron Man.
Yeah.
But still Iron Man.
Okay. I would go as Catwoman.
Okay.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was always my costume for Halloween. So it's Catwoman for me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And you would go?
You know what, Coraline? Because I'm obsessed with that movie, like, heavily.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll just like need the blue wig and the yellow like jacket. It's
I think
really
you can make it work.
Yeah, I already got
so.
a black cat at home, so like
Perfect.
that already works. But yeah, no, I'm or Atom Eve from Invincible.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I collect all the comics, so out of like 24 volumes, I've got up to 16, I think. And yeah, I'm obsessed with that show so much.
Such a good show.
Yeah, it's great.
Such a good show.
I remember seeing like a couple at Comic-Con dressed as like Invincible and Atom Eve, and I was like, that's such a like power couple costume. Yeah. That's so cool. That's like the next generation Spider-Man and MJ.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, well, there's so many things I want to say. But I think ultimately, and Senna has echoed this sentiment, we're super proud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Super proud. You know, the person that I met was very like, I would say just more like closed and maybe a bit more timid and a bit more, but it feels like you're blossoming and you're blooming.
Oh, thank you.
And you're shining, and it's amazing to have watched and to have been part of it, but just to see, you know, and I think, I hope that over the next years, decades, whatever it is, that we continue to see you blossom and grow and travel and play and all those kind of things.
Definitely.
Thank you.
But the last question that I have is, for somebody who is like you or was like you, that is in school, that, feels like it's not making sense, people are treating them a certain way, or they're experiencing things like grief, for someone that's kind of going through that situation, what is your advice to them on, being able to grow and get to where you are? Like, what is the advice?
So, for people that that are going through difficult times, whether it be grieving or just anything that's quite difficult, there's a saying that I say, it might sound so cliche, but it's so true. Two things: there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. We go through difficult things, but it does make us stronger. I mean, and like, as cliche as this may sound, you can't have a rainbow without a little rain, We have to, learn from some things. And me being a Christian, I always get told, God would give me something difficult, but only if he knows that I can handle it. And at first I wasn't sure, can I actually handle this stuff? But it's now it's okay, I've become a lot stronger than I was before, and I know how to handle this. And yeah, and if anyone's treating them so wrong in school or making them feel that they're not worthy, someone said this to me. It was a very interesting saying: eagles don't fly with pigeons. And that's so interesting. When they told me that, I was like, that's true. And I feel like the people that don't fit inside this box, they are so special. They're so special. Like me, for example, bit of a tangent, I remember getting not too long ago assessed for like autism, and my doctor telling me, "Oh, there's a chance you could have OCD," and I was like, "That makes so much sense." Oh my goodness, and it's like, you know, it's okay to be different. You know,
100%.
like don't be afraid to be who you are, because once you're out in that real world, you know, things that's going to be so boring. Like you need something, and if you like something that makes you so excited and not many people understand it, that's okay. As long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters. So that's kind of like what I'd say to younger people, or to younger people, or anyone out there really, because people my age or older going through similar stuff. And also you're young, you've got so much time. I'm 23 and I've still got so much time.
Yeah, I love that. I think that is some great wise words.
Very wise. Wise beyond your years.
And the fact, like, I love that, like, visual thing of, like, and I agree with this, that, like, the school is, like, a box. Like, it puts people in a box that not a lot of people fit into. So, again, like, obviously the school system is dated. But, yeah, I agree with that. And it's some great wise words. What's our takeaways from today?
Wow. I don't think I have a specific takeaway. I think more just, I think for me, the imagery of that presentation night compared to graduation is not leaving my head. Like that, like, look, if you ever make like an album or something, just call me. I need to create something visual showing the contrast of those two things because I think they're so powerful. So that's my takeaway, the fact that actually the thing you started as and how people saw you isn't always who you're going to end up as. And if you push through, you will be the person that you really think you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's my takeaway.
I was about to say that would be a great music video. That you walking up on the presentation evening, which I was there for, and I remember very clearly. So if you need a co-director, Mark. But that visual thing, and then for you walking up and getting that award on graduation, I can really see that as a music video. So working on that. But transformation for me is my takeaway. Yes. Transformation, because I honestly feel like, Taylor, you have completely transformed, and I'm honestly proud of
Thank
you.
you.
So transformation is my takeaway. Any takeaways for you?
It's just a lot of reflecting, really, of seeing the growth that's happened. I think I didn't realize that, you know, you have times where you're just like, oh, wow, there's so much that's actually happened. There's so many hurdles that I've had to jump over, and there's going to be so many more. But I feel like I've been given some of the tools to help get through what's to come, but also being kind to myself, giving myself credit. You know, I feel like everyone has a purpose, and I feel like I'm starting to figure out what my purpose is. And I love what I do, and, you know, at such a young age, I'm actually fulfilling my dream. And, you know, that's enough for me, really. Yeah.
Where can they find you on socials?
You can find me on Instagram at Tay Grace Bassist, and also on streaming services. I haven't put out music in a while, but it's Tay Grace H. But my main thing is on Instagram, where I post all my updates, all shows happening and things like that. Yeah,
follow her, guys.
Also, once a week at Still, or once a month at
SD Weekly at Peckham Levels. I'm there once like a month kind of thing, but I would suggest going like as many times as you can. It's every Wednesday, and the bands that are there are incredible. The artists that are there are phenomenal.
So come down. Come down if you're a good person, because if not,
well, we do have like rules when you get there. It's like
they've got to follow the rules.
Good. But you've been a fantastic guest.
Yeah, amazing guest.
So thank you for coming down and just speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Another really good episode,
Definitely.
another really good chat.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Next time.